you get out and you're like 2 years into your career, you're like, I got my degree, this is awesome.
Today I'm sharing some brutally honest graphic design career advice for 2024. Just understand that you should take everything I say with a grain of salt because again, it's just based on my experiences, but maybe there's a roadblock coming up for you and you're gonna look back at this video and you're gonna be like, you know what, Charlie, you're a cool guy. I appreciate your video. All right, you guys are coming with me. Let's talk about it.
I want to start the video off by telling you guys why I got into graphic design. Why did I want this to be my career? And the very blunt truth, since this video is all about being blunt and honest, is I didn't even want to be a graphic designer originally. I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to do other stuff with my life. Basically, freshman year of high school, my dad, he purchased some screen printing equipment. Long story short is he had Photoshop on his computer that he had me download. I didn't know what the hell it was, but I just knew that it was like really complicated looking and it was very overwhelming. But he said, you design something. I don't care what it is. I created the worst graphic you've ever seen. It was an abomination. I'm glad it's not even out here anymore because it was that bad. I think it was like bat wings and they were just like, they look like clip art. It was terrible. I guess while we're waiting in California traffic, I can talk about why I think you guys should be a graphic designer. I think that if you are a creative person that wants to be on the computer all day long and you like composing images together to create designs, then it's probably going to be the career for you because that's pretty much what graphic design is all about. You're actually solving a lot of problems. It's more I would say it's like 95% problem solving and 5% creativity. I'm not even kidding you because most of the time you could be too creative and the ideas that you're coming up with, the client doesn't even end up liking it. And you've seen that, huh? Where I do something extravagant and the client's like, I don't like it. And then I spend like 5 minutes on something that I know that is like part of their brief and they love it. So I do think that 95% of it is just problem solving. 5% creativity. It might be, the ratio could be off, but in my experience, it's definitely more about the problem and the solution, right? So like, for example, if somebody has a brief and they say, I want this design to look like a 1991, kid bop design. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. You have to make that design look like it's part of that time period because it's a timepiece, right? It needs to be a part of the 90s. But if you do something crazy that doesn't really fit that mold, they're not going to like it. So it doesn't matter how creative you are at the end of the day. It matters more if you can listen. And I'm a terrible listener, by the way, so I don't even know how I'm a graphic designer. But so yeah, if those things fit you, then maybe you're meant to be a graphic designer. Here's why I think you shouldn't be a graphic designer. If you're doing it just because you see other people doing it and I don't know, maybe you want to copy their lifestyle and that in your head you think you could do exactly what they're doing, I think you should probably hold off because I just feel like you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to go into the career path thinking your life's going to look like their life and you're going to be let down because everybody's so different, right? We're all brought up in different ways and we all have different skill sets and we all think about things differently. So I think if you go into it thinking you're going to mimic somebody's career, it's not going to happen like that. And maybe it will. There's a good chance that, I wouldn't say a good chance, but there's a chance that it could happen. But I think the odds are against you. Let's just put it that way.
God, I can't remember where this is. Oh, it's right here. I did it. All right, so mistakes to avoid as a graphic designer. Based on my career, obviously, everybody's different, right? But I would say don't copy everybody because let's just say this, like if you start your career off and you see like a designer you like and then you start gearing your career around their career, it kind of goes back to what I said before, but you don't want to copy their style completely. You want to like kind of explore different styles, but just let that be known that that's their style and not your style. Does that make sense? Like, I wish I guess one example I can show you is if you look at my work and every design you do looks like my work, then you're not being true to yourself. I would say another mistake to avoid is don't go out spending $3,000 on a MacBook Pro. You're probably laughing at that one because that's kind of what I did at the beginning too. But the reason why I say that is because Photoshop works on so many different computers now. It's so optimized. Like you can go out and buy an M1 MacBook Air for like less than $900 and you're good to go. So I would say don't spend all your money on gear. focus on learning first. What was the other point we were trying to make? What were we even talking about? See, I'm lost now. I'll include that though, because it's funny. What was the other mistake that we were talking about? We were just having this conversation. Oh, filter gallery. Filter gallery, templates and all that stuff. Try not to rely on using templates when you first start out, because you actually have to know how to do something. Like, if you don't understand how the template was made, you probably shouldn't be using the template. Does that make sense? Like, you should understand how it was crafted. That's how you know Photoshop. If you're relying on the template only, then you're basically just a template designer. Kind of makes sense. In other words, if I give my wife that's filming right now my template, Stylebender, she can make a design and make it look pretty cool. But are you actually a designer? You answer that.
No.
Exactly. Point proven. So just don't rely on the template. Understand how it actually works. Like, hop into Filter Gallery and mess with the settings and learn how they work. And then I guarantee you, next time you buy a template that uses Filter Gallery, you're gonna be like, I know exactly how they did that. Kind of a controversial take, because a lot of designers will tell you that you should be working for free, but I actually think that's bullshit. Charge like 25, 50 bucks. Charge something, like you gotta eat, right? But don't overcharge, to the point where don't overcharge to the point where the dollar amount exceeds your skill level. Does that make sense? You have to understand what skill level you're at and kind of what price bracket you fit in. If you're charging $1,000 for a logo and you're not even you just started learning logos last year, you're probably charging too much. It's okay to charge high sometimes and get less clients and you're making more money, but you have to get to that point, okay? So take your time, learn. That's good. Banger. No, not really. Fuji X100V, guys, sold out everywhere. Found it in my local camera store for 1,200 bucks. And then, the guy, of course, sold me on a charger and everything else, but I think I left spending $1,350 total. It was so worth it. My bank's not happy with me, but I'm very happy, and that's all that matters. Oh yeah, back to what the video's about, huh? All right, controversial. Okay, got that done. Do it because you love it, because it's cool. Yeah, do it because you love it, not because it's cool, okay? If you don't enjoy it, you will burn out fast. That's a good point. Next point, don't go to college without testing the waters. That's a really good one. So imagine this, you go to college for graphic design, you're like, $40,000, $50,000 in the hole. You get out and you're like 2 years into your career. You're like, I got my degree, this is awesome. And then you're like, damn, I really hate graphic design. Guess what? That $50K, you still owe it. Like, it's not gonna disappear, you still owe that. So don't just go to college to be a graphic designer because it sounds cool, okay? I know you get to use laptops all day, computers and design stuff, but it's like, there's so much more to it. So do it first. I recommend 3 to 4 years. I know it seems like a long time. If you love it still, go get a degree, or don't. I don't have a degree. I'm fine. And I built a whole career around design. So I would say, yeah, take your time. Don't rush it. I hate college. No, I'm kidding. If you feel like you want to go to college, go to college. Don't let me.
I went to college.
Yeah, you did go to college.
Right, I did nothing.
You have a bachelor's degree.
A bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
I don't even have like 3 classes completed. I dropped out. It's all relative.
We printed it on a shirt, and it kind of woke me up a little bit because I was like, dude, that design I just made, he just printed it and we're wearing it. And he was like so stoked. He was like, that's my daughter, she's sick. But he was so stoked about this design. And I remember thinking that sucks really bad. But at the time, I'm sure I was like bragging about it. I was seeing my friends that were using Photoshop designing for their bands, making merch. So I got into it, of course, and I did it slowly throughout the, my high school years. And I got better each year, obviously, but I wasn't spending a lot of time on it. But anyway, fast forward to like 2011, and I got a job at Merch Connection. You guys know about this. And I was working with a team of professional designers that were designing for big names in the industry. I'll name a few. IC Stars I designed for, no bragging rights. The Word Alive, basically all the Warped Tour, date bands, pretty much. So it was cool, nerve-wracking, and I got told I sucked a lot. And I wanted to quit a lot, but it gave me something that I feel like no other job was giving me at the time, which was freedom. And freedom to be creative, and also freedom to like make money and do what I actually like doing, which is like working on a computer. So that's kind of how I got my start. That's a long story. I can get into more details if you guys really care to hear. Maybe another YouTube video. You guys let me know.